Thanks for checking out this horror film review from the Bananalaser Horror Podcast. You can find our full archive of every unedited show at horrorphilia.com. Also, subscribe to Bananalaser on iTunes, Stitcher, and YouTube. This is YouTube. Well, click subscribe. Thanks, and keep on banana-ing.
Hey, yo!
Do we go left or right?
I'm sorry, I just don't know where we are.
Oh, shit! Okay, we're gonna call the rental car service. Shit, there's no signal.
What?
There's no signal!
There's always a signal.
Not out here in the middle of nowhere.
All right, lasers, we're back from the break, and we're starting off our Human Centipede retrospective with the first film, Human Centipede First Sequence from 2009. It's 100% medically accurate. Ugh, gross. It stars Dieter Laser as Dr. Heiter.
Yes.
Is his middle name Banana? It has to be, right?
I don't know.
Gee, I mean, is that his real name? Laser? There's no way. I mean, I know he's like German or something.
Maybe he's a laser.
That would be awesome. I would love that.
I am laser, and I happen to be a laser, according to Matt Weasel.
I love Banana Laser. It also stars Ashley Williams as Lindsay, Ashlyn Yenny as Jenny. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she's not as hot.
I'll have to take the two of them at once.
A name I'm going to butcher,
Akiro. My name is Akiro.
Kitamura as Katsuro. Something like that. Dave, you could probably do a much better job. And it's written and directed by Tom Six, another name that I feel is fake.
It should be Tom Sick, because this movie is sick, man.
Unbelievable. I can't believe you would make such trash. This movie is, it's a thing to behold, because it broke through to pop culture. And not many horror films do that. For anything, you have to applaud Tom Six for doing something so crazy that does that breaks through, that everybody knows what it is. Even if they haven't seen this film or any of the sequels, they know what a human centipede is. And he like created something, you know. It's like if somebody, any asshole can make a Friday 13th movie and, you know, it's whatever. But this is like something unique. Whether you like the film or not, it's interesting as fuck, right? I mean, you guys were instantly drawn in, right?
It's very controversial just to say it to people. Even people that aren't horror fans, and then you tell them what it is, forget about it.
Exactly. I rarely talk to people about movies unless I know they're into movies and want to talk about it. But after I watched this on Netflix a few years back, I guess it was 2010, I immediately went to everybody at work.
Me too.
And said, have you seen him? Everybody. I don't care if you like movies or anything. I'm like, you need to know about this film called Human Centipede because it's crazy.
Right. And they all know it. They all heard of it in some way. Even regular people who you'd think would never talk about something so grotesque, they've heard. Like, it's the weirdest thing. With, you know how that we always have these strange coincidences? This whole weekend, leading up to doing this show, I'm at my mom's house for Mother's Day. She has one of those long dogs. I didn't know what the name was. I texted her, and she told me it's like a dash. She wrote Dash Hound or something like that. And she goes, "Oh, I almost stepped on the dog. She's like a centipede." And I was like, "That's
man.
Yeah." I was like, "That's weird." So we go down to the boardwalk down the shore, and we go into this place where you could pay $4 and play all these classic arcade games for 15 minutes because they're all, you know, just on so that you could just keep playing them. And the game Centipede was there. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? Everything in my life has this kind of weird connection to it, like this connectivity. I don't even know what is going on. But like, so when my mom said this about the dog, Tiffany looked at me and did that face, and I was like, yeah, she's like, my mom's like, what? And we're talking about it. She goes, Alex is watching this thing and reviewing this gross movie, Human Centipede. And my mom goes, oh, yeah, I saw the trailer for that. And I'm like, how How did you see the trailer for that?
I know, right?
She's like, I'm on Bloody Disgusting all the time. Jesus Christ. Yeah, it's crazy how this thing broke through. And to me, I think deservingly so. Because it's a wonderful idea.
But you know what? When this movie first came out, and I've alluded to it before, I talked at work to everybody about this movie. But I would get bored at work, and I would play games with people I work with, and I would say, who would be the funniest person that we work with to be the head of the Centipede? You just put, because that scene when he's introducing them to his process, and he's describing it to them, the way they're acting, of course the Asian's hysterical, because he doesn't shut up the entire time.
He doesn't shut up.
No, it's hysterical. But imagine somebody you know, and them being in that situation, and this doctor explaining to them about what's going to happen, and then he says the human centipede, and their reaction to it. A lot of people's reactions would be pretty fucking funny, because it's so outrageous, you know? But I used to talk about it so much at work. This one guy, this Asian guy, his name is Z, he didn't want to hear about it. It really grossed him out. Well, I found out that he was really into pigeons. He raises pigeons and all this other shit. So one day at work, I just said to him, I go, hey Z, I go, did you hear about that guy that was a scientist? He invented this thing called the pigeon centipede. And it didn't
Who's
work.
into pigeons?
Yeah.
This guy is, Mike Tyson was.
Mike Tyson.
Yeah, some people, they're into
I'm into
pigeons.
pigeons, man. Punch the motherfuckers in pigeons.
He is. It's crazy.
Some people are. So I was teasing him about the pigeon, and he didn't want to believe it. And then I go, the guy that tried it, the pigeon didn't last very long, so they want to try it with humans next. And then he was just repulsed by it. So I would always fucking tease him about it. I would see him. I go, hey, you want to watch the Human Centipede? He's, I don't want to. Because he's really uptight, but he likes me. He's a nice guy, but he has no room for nonsense. You know what I mean? Just one of those type of guys.
Nonsense.
Yeah,
so a nonsense guy.
I would just fucking say it to him just to get a reaction all the time. And, it was funny.
It should be the new thing. Instead of fuck, marry, kill, it's position 1, 2, or 3.
Right. And then another guy I worked with, I said, who would you want to do? And he goes, and he came up with 3 people, and he says, number 3 would be this one girl. I go, why would you pick her as the rear end? And he goes, I just want to see her eat shit, he told me. So yeah, I was a little bit obsessed with it because it was so, I don't think it's the greatest movie in the world, but the concept is just, it's hysterical to me.
Yeah, that's one of my issues with this movie. It's not that, it's really not the greatest movie in the world, but yeah, you're right. This concept puts it at almost a fucking 10 just because it's so wild. But that's one thing that people are just so repulsed by it and just totally turned off and think, why would I watch something like that? But honestly, the whole shit in mouth aspect is like a fraction of the film. It's literally like a minute and a half, and even then you see nothing.
It didn't even dribble out of her lips or anything.
No, nothing at all. And so it's pretty tame as far as that goes.
Right. The next movie is another story.
Oh,
but
Jesus.
This particular movie, it's not that bad. And it's set up like a regular horror story. The first half hour is as damn good as any horror movie.
I really enjoyed the opening.
Yeah, it's a great hook. Everything. It's perfect. And there's nothing wrong with anybody. One of the girls is slightly annoying, but it's really not that bad. I have no problem. And I actually like Lindsay. I'm sympathetic with her until she makes a really stupid decision later on. And then I'm like, come on, fucking, you're really going to fucking go through all that to get your friend out? But I'm really sympathetic with her because her behavior, she's not annoying. And the Asian guy, to me, is just pure comedy. That's just to me. I can see how some people would watch this movie and not get humor out of it. But me, I think it's hysterical. And I don't like horror comedies per se. But to me, this is comical for me. So I love it because it's funny.
I think, okay, so you got about 40 minutes before the real Centipede shit kicks off. And the first 40 minutes are pretty much a typical slasher film. You got annoying females who are driving to some party in Germany that, they got invited to by somebody they don't know. Their car breaks down. They get hit on by some weird dressed down grandpa who just wants to fuck them. I did think that was pretty funny.
It was funny. He's like, I have a horny video of you at home, he says.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. That guy was fucked up. The rest of it is just them going to the doctor's house, them getting abducted because he slips them the rape drug.
I'm tired. What's going on? Look at me. What's
The
wrong?
rape drug.
Oh my God. What? What?
Rohypnol.
Oh my God. What?
Causes drowsiness, dizziness, disorientation, and memory loss.
Are you kidding? What are you doing? Jenny. Oh my God.
And it's all typical horror stuff. There's a nice chase that actually has a little bit of suspense. I think it's the only moment that has suspense. I think the middle girl actually tries to get away before any of the operations happen.
That's why she becomes the middle girl.
Yeah. Yeah. When he nominates her for that, it's great.
It is great. And he said the same thing about the dog. He's like, one of the dogs tried to escape when I made my dogs, and I had to discipline him. And that's how I decided that he was going to be in the middle.
Yeah, I like how they keep showing the tombstone of my 3 dogs, my three sweet dogs.
3 dog? Yeah.
And he's looking at pictures of them.
He's actually sad. And I believe that at the beginning of the movie, because why would he be sitting there? Remember, he just happens to be sitting there looking at the picture, and then the trucker pulls up behind him, and he ends up abducting the trucker. But I think he's just honestly sitting there grieving that this had just happened, and he actually cared for these fucking dogs.
But why does he want to make the people into dogs instead of just human centipedes?
Because then they become a pet.
Yeah, and he says at some point in the film that he doesn't like human beings. I think he says that to the girls.
Initially, I don't like humans.
So I think he's being vindictive. Or, he's maliciously trying to hurt people because he doesn't like people in general. But at the same time, he wants a pet.
For all the shit people say about this movie, it really is directed well. It's shot well. It's a well-made movie. It really is. And the contrast with the lighting, in the beginning when they're visiting him, not visiting, but when he first brings the 2 girls into the house, you see that it's real warm and cozy looking upstairs. There's like an orange lighting in the room. It looks real nice. Then below, it looks like the basement in Saw, the way the colors are and shit. It's like those strange hues and colors and shit. And that's done with intent. And I really think that this is a well-made movie. It's like,
it is.
I hate when people just say, oh, it's a piece of trash. And it's like, you know what? I've seen fucking pieces of trash. I've seen every fucking 80s slasher I can. And there's some fucking terrible fucking photography going on in these movies. And I hate when people shit on this movie. It's like, sorry, but it's a well-made film. It really is.
I agree with you, Dave. I think the direction and cinematography, the lighting, it all looks great. My problem, mainly, I think, with this film is the writing. In that this story, it lags at certain parts. And
really? What's weird? My observation was that they found something interesting to do scene by scene by scene. Like, to me, there was never a dull moment.
I agree. And there's 3 acts, and they're clear as fucking day. There's the setup, there's the fucking middle, and then there's all that shit at the end. I think it's laid out perfectly as a movie.
Yeah, I actually thought they would just have this great idea of sewing mouths to assholes, and then they would just fill the rest with shit. And then I was kind of impressed that they had an entire well thought out and thing to this whole thing. Like, it was they hit all the beats in a way.
Yeah, so man, what's your down? I don't get what's your downtime.
I just get distracted. I've seen this movie 2 times now. The first time I watched it on Netflix, I fast forwarded through about 10 minutes of it.
Wow.
And I felt like I could do that because seemingly, I still got the gist of it. It was fine. And then this time, I didn't fast forward, but I trailed off a lot. And it happens, I would say, at the beginning of the 3rd act and during the 3rd act. I kind of trailed off. I started looking at my phone.
Wow, really? After the cops came the first time?
Looking at his phone.
I thought
that's how you know, man. That's how you know movies like...
Yeah. It's like, oh, let me check Facebook because that's really fucking important. Yeah.
Yeah, to see me post pictures of fucking Human Centipede.
Do you guys, when people come over your house, do you give your guests faucet water?
Only with the rape drug in it.
The rape drug, Rohypnol. Yeah.
You will begin to get dizzy and weak, and let's see, you'll trip around for a few
How
minutes.
about this fucking guy? He is fucking amazing.
Yes, what
Dieter
casting.
Laser? Oh my God.
Oh,
he's incredible. Like everything he does is just stellar. His entire look, the way he's like feeble, kind of like emaciated or something, and his whole delivery, it should almost come off like hilarious, but he actually brings that menace and anguish to this fucking weird, crazy doctor.
dude, one of the best villains in the last 10 years.
I agree. Yeah.
He's great.
If that character was played poorly by an actor, it would be even harder. This movie would be much, much lesser. He elevates this movie extremely.
Yep, he's great. The only other person I think that may be able to pull it off would be Christopher Walken.
Oh, wow.
Couldn't you see him in
a
this role?
human centipede? I wish I could do a Walken impression. Yeah.
I won't even begin. But damn, he's good. The way he talks. And how about when he's yelling in German and he calls her a stupid cow when she's supposed to turn?
And they're just like, what the fuck was that? Like, Jesus Christ.
And he's so deadpan, and he just fucking says whatever, and he's so perfect because he really is a fucking sociopath, a psychopath, whatever, because he has no fucking remorse, no anything. Everything is fucking deadpan delivery. This is it, and that's fucking that. He's obviously
right. Yeah, he doesn't
nuts.
care. It's weird because he was frail, but he was really strong because, in a way, well, in a way he's not, but he is, because when he brings the Chinese kid out of the car and into the house, he's like struggling with this kid. And so if he's struggling with that kid, how the hell did he get the trucker in the house?
Oh, yeah. If you want to get nitpicky with that shit, there's a lot of weird shit like that. Like, how did he get the Human Centipede up the stairs by himself?
Yeah, or on that operating table when the
yes.
cops show up at the end. How did they get up on that fucking table? And how did they get him out in the fucking front lawn?
Yeah, exactly. Because they're in the fucking basement. There must be an elevator there or something.
Dude,
Well, you never know.
Just the table itself. How did they get it on the fucking table? That's impossible.
Maybe he has one of those things that lifts him. Who knows? Because think about
Like
it. If he
for
did it with
people in wheelchairs?
Possibly, why not? He is a surgeon. He has access to all this shit. He did it with dogs. I mean, he has a whole fucking, what do you call it, in his basement. Facilities.
They have the most marvelous facilities in the basement.
He's got it all. I mean, it's definitely possible. And keep in mind, when he picked up the Asian guy, he picked him in fucking, like, picking up a 6-year-old. It was like, he put him right over his shoulder like a fucking sack of potatoes.
Yeah, like he was sleeping in the car.
Yeah, I don't think that he would have picked the big guy up that way. He probably would have pulled him. Feet first down the stairs, banging his head out on the way down and whatnot.
I want to bring up something that we probably have never brought up on the show before, and that is his wardrobe, because I made note of it this time in that, well, first of all, his doctor coat, I guess, is really cool and sleek looking and looks like Neo wore it in The Matrix or something.
Yes.
Yeah, it looks really cool. But before that, when he is dressed down, when he's burying that trucker and he's dressed down in jeans and fucking sneakers, I don't know why, but that is the funniest fucking thing in the world to me.
You guys see that again?
Yeah.
That is funny. Well, check this out.
Oh, good.
He supplied his own wardrobe.
The actor?
Oh, the actor.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
okay.
Dieter Laser's fucking clothes. Yes.
I read that they made up a lot of the dialogue on the spot.
I believe that.
Now that I don't know. I just know he supplied his wardrobe, and those mirrored sunglasses that he wears? Those are Tom Six's sunglasses, and it kind of just happened on the spot.
I like your sunglasses. Can I wear them for my character?
Like the girls all made up their dialogue once they got into Human Centipede. That would have been hilarious if they had like lines written out that they were supposed to hum.
Well, the one funny part is when the guy's explaining what he's going to do to these assholes. No pun intended. The girl, the hot girl, is looking, and you can see she's trying to follow this, even though the guy's screaming, and she's like, she's trying to pay attention to see what exactly is going down today. And the funniest thing to me, I don't know if you guys find this funny, but it's every time he says something and it's shocking her, she looks at her friend to see what she thinks about it.
Yes.
Like, are you cool with this? I mean, I know that one time we did a 3-way, but this is totally different.
Did you hear that part? What do you think of that? How's that sit in your stomach?
Yeah.
She kept looking at her. I'm like, why are you looking for her fucking reaction? Like, your life is about to change, honey.
She can't believe it. She wants to know she's hearing what she's hearing. It's so unbelievable to her. She's like, am I fucking hearing right?
Did you see our knees? We can't walk after this?
Did you hear that? You heard that, right?
She was too busy freaking the fuck out. The one girl was babbling like a fucking crybaby.
Yeah, I want my mommy!
Yeah.
I want my mom. Seriously?
Yeah.
Now, that's the kind of dialogue that I'm like, all right.
Yeah, come on. But that it fits the character. She's some fucking dumb American chick. I mean, I honestly, the demonstration when he gets out there and he fucking, the Human Centipede.
Love it. A
First
great scene.
sequence. Oh, it's great. And he's explaining it and the diagrams.
Does he say first sequence?
Yes, he does.
Oh.
Isn't that
So
great?
he had a plan
Yep.
to do like sections. Holy shit.
I don't know. He had some type of plan.
No, but wait, it should be the second sequence for him because he already did the dogs.
Well, then it would be the dog centipede.
Well, yeah, I thought he was just like this. He was going to keep them alive somehow.
Keep yourself alive.
And then make another 3-person one and then attach them and just keep going.
I think the dog was a test.
Yeah.
And then the humans were humans, and then he was going to see what he could do. Because he probably didn't expect them to live very long anyway. He probably wants to get it right. So they're laboratory rats. Honestly, all of them.
I'm Dr. Joseph Heiter. We start with cutting the ligamentum patellae, pulling from B and C the central incisors, lateral incisors, and canines from the upper and lower jaws. The lips from B and C, and the anus of A and B are cut circular along the border between skin and mucosa. V-shaped incisions below the chins of B and C up to their cheeks, connecting the circular mucosa and skin parts of anus and mouth from A to B and B to C, connecting, creating a Siamese triplet connected via the gastric system. Ingestion by A, passing through B, the excretion of C, the human centipede. First sequence.
The funny thing is, as he's explaining, the best part of all, and I literally am fucking laughing out loud for 5 minutes, even though it should be a fucking dead-ass serious scene, but just because of the translation in fucking Katsuro, he does not shut the fuck up. He's either making noise or talking the whole time, but the things that come out of his mouth are great. He says, he goes, "Who the fuck are you?" And then he says, fucking,
"Who the fuck are you? What the fuck do you want?"
"Untie me, goddammit." And then the best of all is he goes, "The Japanese possess unbelievable strength when backed into a corner."
Yeah,
who the fuck says that shit?
I think there's something lost in translation there.
That's what's funny about fucking foreign movies and Asians in particular. When they say these lines in these movies, it always makes me laugh. And he's like, "You're a crazy Nazi," he calls him, and he goes, "You really are a disturbed man," you know?
Who would yell that out loud? Yeah.
Nobody that speaks English would say those.
No.
You really are a disturbed man.
I tell you what, having the Japanese guy as the front was like brilliant because he doesn't speak English. The fucking doctor doesn't understand Japanese, and the other two bitches can't say a goddamn thing. So nobody can fucking talk to each other here.
There's no communication.
Great. Like, yeah, when he's dragging them out after he assembles them, and he's trying to get them to do dog shit, and take a paper. I love all that. He's like whipping them like a dog, and yeah, I just love all those scenes. And it was great. It was a great. casting or whatever they did. I don't know if they intentionally tried to get a Japanese guy, but having no communication.
Oh, they had to. Yeah, that had to be part of the thing, that there's no communication. It had to be. Mm-hmm. But because what are the chances that would accidentally happen? But the only thing that would have made this movie like a 10 with this dog shit, with the eating the dog food and putting a newspaper in his mouth, the only thing that would have made this epic is if he threw a frisbee at them.
You just see it like hitting him in the face.
Yeah, it just hits him in the eyes. He just.
The Japanese dude isn't having shit. Like, he's yelling and screaming the whole time, and he just won't. He never gives this guy an inch. He fights the whole time. And
what about when he turns so they don't face him?
He's like, face me, goddammit. Yeah.
He goes, don't turn your back on me. Like, right. The guy literally walks over to the left a little bit so they don't look at him.
And then later on, he looks at him when he's at the table and he's eating, and he says, I'm not a dog, he says. After all that, I'm not a dog.
Yeah, then he bites his ankles.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's so funny. I don't think it could have worked any other way. If it would have been an English-speaking man in their role saying those lines, it just would have taken so much out of it. Do you guys find it funny the way I do? Or is it just me?
I find it funny once they get hooked up.
Yeah.
Like the first half of the movie, it is like a regular horror movie to me. Yeah, it's got a couple chuckles, but once they get hooked up, it's like, you're right. It is very comedic, straight comedy the whole time.
Yeah.
Like seeing them slink around whenever the doctor is in the pool swimming and they're poolside, and they
try to escape.
Yeah, they untie themselves and they're like, okay, go. They're trying. It's so funny because there's no way you can get away fast enough.
Stupid.
Yeah.
And how about when he first assembles them and they wake up, and the first, the Chinese guy, comes to life or whatever, wakes him up, and he looks at the doctor and he looks around, and the first thing he says after having 2 chicks sewn to him is, "Do you really think you're God?"
Yeah.
That's what he said. Like, wouldn't the first thing you say be like, "Hey, sweetie, while you're back there, you want to rim this? You want to give me a rim?" But wouldn't you say something that actually relates to you're sewn up to 2 chicks up to your asshole? You want to talk about, do you really think you're God? Like, what a bizarre first reaction to being a centipede.
Yeah. I would have been like, get this chick off my ass. Yeah.
I think he almost fucking pukes when he's getting explained. Remember?
Right.
When fucking the doctor's explaining what he's going to do, and towards the end, Katsuro acts like he's going to vomit. Are you fucking kidding me? That's comedy gold to me. I'm sorry. Who would fucking puke?
Well, how come nobody does puke in this? Imagine if somebody shits in your mouth.
Right. How come she didn't choke on her own vomit?
Yeah, she would have choked on her vomit and just died immediately, I think.
Right.
They only got fat one time.
There's a lot of nitpick shit that you can
like, what if their noses were runny and they couldn't breathe out of their nose? Or what if they had a bad cough and they kept coughing into his asshole?
They're dead. What does he care?
Don't blow air in my ass.
Coughing into his asshole. Well, that's
Jesus.
just it. The guy doesn't care. If they die, they die. He fucking tries it again.
See, I don't think so. I think he wants this thing to live. That's why he's training it and all that shit.
He does want it to live, but if it doesn't work, oh well. Because he even says, I got to fucking go back and make some changes at one point. There's going to be a follow-up. Because then at one point he's pissed off because he said, I should have removed your vocal cords, he says. And there's going to be a follow-up surgery. I don't think he cares. Think about what he's done so far. The dog, the first guy he just fucking tossed out like yesterday's news because he didn't match the fucking type. He's not thinking rationally. He even says at one point, I don't sleep much. So I just think he's fucking so far gone.
But what would you ultimately do with a human centipede? Like, what joy would you... They move around so slow. It's like having a slug for a pet. Like, what would you do with it? It just seems like a big waste of time.
Yeah, the point of more legs and arms is so they can move faster.
Right. Yeah.
He gets off on the idea.
Because he's playing God, yeah.
Because, in a way, he's playing God. It's something, because think about how happy he is after it. He's so fucking excited after the surgery, after they start walking. He's taking their picture. He's fucking so jazzed about it all. It's like a fucking amazing achievement in his life. He's so happy that he thinks they're happy, and he shows them fucking what they look like in a mirror. Like they should be proud of his accomplishment. You know?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, and he kisses the mirror. He's kissing himself. He's in love with himself. He's fucking, he's nuts.
Yeah, I think he took a selfie with them, too.
If they were to make it nowadays, no question you would be taking a selfie with. Maybe they'll do it in
part 3. Yeah.
Jesus Christ!
I gotta bring up one thing because there's one fucking scene in this movie. Well, it's probably the best scene. It's the most suspense, and it's the whole thing when Lindsay escapes. But not just the fact of the suspense. When she first gets up and runs away, I fucking cringe when that fucking needle rips down her arm. And
oh God!
Right?
Yeah. And there's blood that hits the camera lens.
Oh, and she's bleeding like a sieve. Oh, her whole arm when she gets into that bedroom. Right. How about what he says to her when she gets up and runs away? He's like, "Have you gone mad?" He tells her.
Yeah. Look around, dude.
Right. What a thing to say.
Pot calling the kettle black.
Yeah, it's great.
How about when she escapes the second time, and this time she has? Oh no, wait, wasn't it? Wait, I'm mixing something up because I recall her dragging her friend out.
Yeah, that was the same time.
It's all the same.
That was the first
thing.
time. Okay, yeah. Like, what the fuck was her end game there? Like, just drag your friend for 15 miles back home?
Yeah, she should have left.
Fucked up.
Yeah, and came back. Right,
exactly.
He wouldn't have killed her friend in that amount of time. You could have hoped that you'd get to somebody and they would send the cops there before he performs the operation. How hard, you got to take that chance. Because there's no hope for you when you're dragging dead weight. Yeah.
Right. Oh, I agree. That's where I lose my... That's why I lose her. Like I'm completely on board with her and every decision she makes. And then as soon as she does that, there's a point where either A, you're being a good friend, and that's fucking very gallant and noble, awesome. But you can't take it too far that when you go down there and she's fucking completely unconscious and dead weight, you have to, honey, at that point you got to realize, I'm sorry, I got to get the fuck out of here.
You're not helping her any by dragging her because you're not getting away.
And that's a good point, Alex. I didn't think that. See. She did run off. She could have got help because what's he going to do anyway with 2 people when he wants a 3-person centipede?
Right.
If she gets away, she could
had
get
time.
Help.
Right.
Yeah. I'll tell you what was really
dumbass.
Cool. When she got in his bedroom and she moved the curtain and he was standing right there with the gun.
Oh, that's good.
Good shot.
Cool. Yeah. There's a couple there isn't a whole hell of a lot of it, but there are little things like that, like the suspenseful thing with her in the water, and that part there I think are really well done.
But what you said earlier, what's wrong with this doctor? Like, what do you think is actually wrong with him? Dude, what is wrong with him licking asshole blood that's on the stairs when he's climbing up?
Hot.
He was climbing up because his legs were stabbed or whatever, and he's climbing up the stairs to kill these centipedes that are running up the stairs, and he's licking the asshole blood that leaked onto the stairs.
That was
crazy. It looked fucking cool, I guess. It demented. Yeah. I think he's crazy because he eats only canned fruit.
Del Monte, yeah, those Del Monte.
He's like sitting there eating a giant bowl of canned fruit. Like, dude, change up your diet, man.
Well, he tried to eat a steak, remember?
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, what was wrong with that? He was like, it was undercooked.
Yeah.
He doesn't know how to cook it. He's a
Throw
dumbass.
it back in.
That's what I don't get. Yeah, it looks like it was cooked in an oven. I don't think he's out there fucking grilling. Hey, he's got the centipede in the backyard throwing frisbees at it.
He's got a beer in his hand. He's got his jeans on. How about the? You talked a little bit about the house. How about the paintings in the fucking house? Because those things will give you fucking nightmares. Crazy.
Well, it made the cops think that this guy's not really level.
Yeah, exactly. Like, who would walk into your place and go, "Oh yeah. So you like conjoined twin art?" Like that's very realistic. Yeah, I'm into it.
That really sets off your living room.
Oh God, yeah.
It just shows what a fucking sicko he is. He's into his whole fucking profession to that extreme that he's all about conjoined twins. I mean, who would even do art that way? Think about that.
You know who did it? Tom Six, the director. Yeah. That's his personal art collection that he painted. Yeah. Believe it or not.
He did it just for the movie, though. He did, I don't think he just had him sitting around.
Oh, really? I like thinking he just had that shit around. Oh, shit.
I thought you were going to say Marilyn Manson.
Yeah, he does some weird shit, too.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. Rob Zombie, maybe. Like, it's because he can paint. When he's doing the fucking surgery, that is cool as fuck. That reminds me of, like, the surgery in like, Saw 3 when they're doing the brain surgery, how realistic it is.
Really? Because I just felt like it looked like a movie shit. It didn't look real to me.
Really? I thought it looked very real. Wow. It reminded me of that Saw scene. Alex, what do you think?
No, it seemed movie to me. It seemed rushed. And, like, if you're going to do it like that, why not just cut and not even draw it first?
That was, like, the only effect. Really, the only special effect. Because all the other effects were just... Well, I guess maybe he does get his neck bitten. That's a little effect.
That was cool. I like that.
But the rest of it's just blood. It's like there's no gore in this movie. And I don't want there to be an uber amount of gore. It's fine. It's just strange given that how crazy this concept is and how little gore there is.
The fucking pus is disgusting, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's one gore, and it's, the question is, how do you guys feel about it? It's sort of the big climactic ending of the movie. The Chinese guy or Japanese guy, he takes a piece of glass and decides, instead of like having the will to live, he just decides to talk to the guy for like a minute about something, about what a piece of shit of a human being he actually is. And then he cuts his own throat with a piece of glass and all the blood gushes out. Like,
I think that was a mistake.
Really?
That was a misstep?
Totally. I mean, I like the ending of her being trapped in between two dead people, but that goes 100% completely against his character. The entire time this guy's on screen, he's trying to get away. He's arguing with the guy. He's completely focused on how to get the fuck out of there. And he's the one who bites him and all this shit.
Yeah, he's not willing to even listen to what he's going to do. He's just screaming, not paying attention.
And
he just wants out.
And then at the end, he has a revelation all of a sudden.
That's what an asshole will do, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, but still, I can see that. He's at the end. He knows he's not going to get out. He's finally giving in. So that's part of falling into.
He's closer to getting out than he has ever been.
Right, and
yet he decides to give up right then.
Because he realizes
no sense.
That was his only chance, was right then and there to get out. And then when that was fucking thwarted, he was done. He was like, you know what? I don't have it in me anymore.
No, he could have walked to him and bashed him with that lamp, or cut his throat with the glass. He could have fought to the end.
Yeah, he just gave up.
He just said, okay, my objective is get out of here with these two chicks, and suddenly, just because, he's in the room and he's all messed up behind us, well, I guess I'll just kill myself because I don't really like who I am anyway. It just doesn't make any sense, dude. Like, you can make any excuse you want for it, but it just truly doesn't fit the canon of this guy's entire character.
I guess I can understand what you guys are saying. I just never thought of that before. I just always thought that was a cool way to go out, that he gives that little speech and fucking, I don't know.
Well, you probably didn't think about it.
No, I didn't.
Well, you didn't think about it because it's such an amazing circumstance to leave the middle girl in.
Yeah, that is a great kind of ending. I mean, the ending isn't truly climactic, but just leaving her there, and it's like, wait a minute, how long is she going to fucking be there before some more cops show up? Like,
right.
A day? Surely they come before that.
Yeah, and it's cool that the movie makes you think that, because that's exactly what you think. And then you start putting it together and you say to yourself, well, if the other two cops got a warrant and headed over to a house and you don't hear from these guys, you're going to go to that house. Mm-hmm. So she'll be okay. Yeah, well, it's good that the movie made you even think that. That means it's a sign of a good movie, I guess, or something.
I'm glad they explained it all in the sequel.
Oh yeah.
Every dangling thread, they wrapped it all up.
I think. How about the best line of the movie? When the guy says, "Shit, I have to shit."
Yeah, shit, I have to shit.
Yeah.
I think that's hysterical.
Yeah, when he's eating, it's like, dude, what the fuck are you doing, man? You're just... Don't eat. I know you're hungry.
No, did you see what he did? He looked at the food and he realized, if I eat this, I'll shit. And he looked back at the girl and goes, fuck, and he started eating.
You're right.
That's what went through his head when he looked back at her.
Sorry, baby.
Yeah, he goes, sorry, I'm hungry, man.
Yeah, what are you going to do? I mean, of course you're going to eat. You're fucking starving. It's human nature to want to eat. It's what keeps you alive. And I don't know. I think most people would eat in that situation. Just because if there's any hope to ever get out, you got to eat.
She should have started like punching him from behind when he was eating. Like,
Right?
Donkey punching.
Yeah, you're gonna shit, you fucking jerk! Stop.
And then he's like, feed her.
Feed her! Feed her! Hard! Swallow it, bitch! Swallow up! Feed her! Feed her! Hard!
What an insane world we live in. That's the last thing fucking Katsuro says before he kills himself. How about he says,
insane.
I don't have time for coffee, he tells the cops.
Yeah, I don't have time to make you assholes coffee. I'll give you faucet water.
Even for himself. Because I don't have time for coffee. I just drink water, he tells them.
Did you guys notice the insanely funny sound that the Chinese or Japanese guy makes when the doctor like puts the syringe into his streamline and he falls asleep?
That?
Yeah, listen to this. Listen to this.
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
I expected me to go.
It's like, a set of teeth chattering.
Funny, dude. And I played it 3 times, and the more you watch it, the funnier it gets, man.
That sounds like a video of one of those screaming goats or something like that. Jesus. I like in my notes how once they get attached, like anytime I'm talking about them, I just put the centipede. Like walking the centipede, feeding the centipede, training the centipede. It's now a thing, yeah.
You're as bad as he is.
Yeah, exactly.
With your nose.
Feed her. Yeah, let's give some ratings. I mean, we're all, as far as like Banana, we like to peel. It's all the middle chick, right? We're all going to choose her, of course.
Yeah, Lindsay. Mm-mm.
It was definitely nice seeing those fun bags hang around for an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's rate the movie. I'll go first. I kind of talked about the things that I already didn't like. I felt slow. Once the concept was introduced, it didn't have enough to completely engage me, but the movie looks great. The guy who plays Dieter Laser, who plays the doctor, is fucking amazing. You should watch this movie for him alone. And just the concept is wildly entertaining. Like, nobody wants to eat shit. Nobody even likes touching shit or hearing anything about shit. Nobody does. But for some reason, it's like watching a car wreck. It's like I still want to see why this was made into a movie. It's just a fascination. So I would give this movie a 3 out of 5. I'd say I'd like it, but it doesn't really go beyond that. The sequels might, and hopefully they do.
Not bad. I enjoy it. It flows just right. I think
the flow. I'm sorry.
The flow of shit. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But, I think that Mr. Laser does a fucking great job in his role. He's a great villain, and I have a lot of fun with it. It's definitely better watching it with someone that has a good sense of humor. That is not just anybody, of course.
I don't know. I want to watch this with somebody who's completely repulsed. I have yet to do that.
Oh, I have done it. My wife doesn't like it at all.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I think that would be fun.
She doesn't want me to bring it up as a joke.
You see, now why is that? Is it because they immediately think about literally shit inside of their mouth? That could be the only reason, right?
It's just a psychological thing for
And
some
I guess I never actually literally think about that. Even when he shits into her mouth in the film, I'm not really thinking about it. Just like whenever Jason kills somebody, I'm not thinking that of being actually stabbed myself, I guess. So
right, I agree.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
People are just weird when it comes to fucking shit and vomit. And
Yeah.
things like that. Some people just have a real issue with it, even when it's pretend. So what are you gonna do? But to sum it up, I give this movie 4 stars. I really like it.
Really like
4.
it?
Yep, I really do.
All right, Alex, you're pulling up the middle. Oh, wait, no, shit, that's me. Fuck. You're
Yeah.
pulling up the rear, right.
I'm dying here, man. Yep. I don't remember the first opinion I had when I watched it when it came out, but definitely this time I can say, you see, it's weird. I don't think I'll make this a regular part of my life, but I really liked it, though. I thought it was really good. Like I said, it was a great concept, obviously. Fresh, interesting, new. It was funny. It kept me, to me, I didn't get bored. I say it a lot when I, give my end result thing. And I guess that means a lot to me when I watch something and I don't lose interest. I guess that means a lot in my rating systems. But yeah, so it was a really good movie to me. I'm looking forward because everybody, talks about how the next ones or the second one's even crazier. So that'll be interesting. And then I heard the third one makes the second one look like the Disney movies. That'll be interesting.
Hard to believe.
Yep.
I don't know. We'll see, I guess. That wraps